Huge moves are coming to the New York Knicks as a report has revealed multiple updates on the future of the New York Knicks, specifically in regards to a lot of their role players and their bench unit, which is going to see some major changes over this offseason, while the New York Knicks focus on bringing in a team that has more depth and also will lose some key guys as well that they will have to replace. And we're going to break all this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, if you're enjoying the content and you're part of that 75% that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. We get daily videos like this. We're on that grind right now. Thank you so much for 17,000 subscribers. You guys have been killing it recently. Let's keep it up, but more importantly, let's jump into the video. There is a lot to go over, as Leon Rose has a busy offseason ahead of him. Not only is he going to hire a new head coach for the New York Knicks, something that we will get back into very shortly because there's a bunch of news on that as well, but on top of that, he's going to have to fill out a New York Knicks roster that clearly had an issue in regards to their bench. The Knicks bench scored the least points per game and played the least minutes per game in the last season. Now, obviously, if you play the least minutes, you're not going to score a ton, but at the same time, you can't pin it all on former head coach Tom Thibodeau, because you look at this New York Knicks roster and the bench was good enough that they should have been getting more minutes. However, it was not good enough in comparison to the other teams that the New York Knicks faced when we got to the conference finals. You look at all the teams in the conference finals. The Minnesota Timberwolves had a great bench with Dante DiVincenzo, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, all coming off that bench. Terrence Shannon Jr. showing a lot as a rookie, someone who the Knicks could have picked as well. On top of that, we see the Indiana Pacers, who are going 11 deep, and obviously they're in the finals. We see the OKC Thunder going around 10 deep, and obviously they're in the NBA Finals, and the Thunder have changed up their starting lineup at points because they've had success with different lineups. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks, that didn't happen. Tom Thibodeau only changed the lineup when it was way too late, when his hand had been forced, and it clearly was an issue. The Knicks front office suggested Tibbs to change it earlier. He didn't. We all know the story. We know what happened. Knicks end up getting bounced. Tibbs end up getting fired. Here we are. But there's been a lot going down, and Steve Popper mentioned this, saying that back when the targets were the likes of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, or Kyrie Irving, the Knicks could offer the most money in a stage at Madison Square Garden. Now the task is to try to coax a veteran who could fit into the Knicks rotation and contribute at a low cost to join the efforts to push the Knicks another level up. Before any other moves, the Knicks are $8 million below the second apron, the third rail they'd like to avoid. They could add another $3.5 million by declining the option on PJ Tucker and another $2 million in cap space cleared by declining the team option on Ariel Hukporti, but it's hard to find a useful two-way big man at that cost. They're not declining Ariel Hukporti's team option. That is not happening. On top of that, I am not suggesting that. Steve Popper suggested that. So don't comment saying, wow, you want to waive Ariel Hukporti? No, I don't, in fact. And I think Ariel Hukporti is going to be in the rotation next year. So I have no idea. I understand why Popper would mention it if they want to free up to $13 million away from the second apron, but they're not going to. That's a useful $2 million to use on Ariel Hukporti, someone who does have a good future with the New York Knicks. The Knicks love Hukporti, and they are going to use him for the foreseeable future. And next season, he's going to be a rotational player for the Knicks. So we could kind of just throw that idea right out the window. However, we do look elsewhere. We look at that PJ Tucker option. It's going to be declined because that gives the Knicks $11 million instead of $8 million. Actually, gives them $11.5 million, but same deal. The Knicks do have some money they could use with that mid-level exception as well, so they'll have more money to use that mid-level exception and not end up in that second apron. So all that will add up, and it does make some real sense to do so. So we will see the Knicks do something along those lines. On top of that, though, we're going to see other stuff go down. As Popper mentioned, the other financial possibilities include moving Mitchell Robinson, who excelled in the postseason, but has an injury history that made him a question mark as he enters the final year of his contract worth $13 million. The Knicks have a 5.7 taxpayer mid-level exception they could use, but if they do, it'll automatically trigger the second apron for where they're at right now. Again, they could free up money to make that not a surefire thing. But you look at Mitchell Robinson in the playoffs, and I've said for a while I think Mitchell Robinson is going to be someone who gets traded in the 2025 NBA offseason. The Knicks it got a lot harder for them to trade Mitchell Robinson, not because his value went down. His value rocketed up, which is great if you're going to trade him. But at the same time, Mitch looked really irreplaceable throughout those playoffs. I mean, the man, his defense was excellent. The offensive rebounding is the best in basketball. The only real issue was the free throw situation, and that got better as time went on over the playoffs. I mean, you look at Mitch, he had 7 rebounds, 5 points, and 1 steal and 1 block per game during the playoffs. He shot 60% from the field and pulled down nearly 4 offensive rebounds per game. The man was doing everything we could have ever asked for. The Knicks lineups were always better when Mitchell Robinson was in them, so it becomes really, really hard to move on from Mitchell Robinson. You see the Knicks contract situation, it becomes really, really difficult to decipher because you got some guys who are on good deals like these rookie contracts. You got Pacome Dadier and Tyler Kolek, who are both making cheap money and eventually could find themselves in the rotation. I believe Huck Porty fully will find himself in the rotation as well. And then you see some other guys in these one-year deals, and they're going to become the big question marks. Are the Knicks going to re-sign them? Or are they going to look away from them? Guys like Landry Shamet, Cameron Payne, DeLon Wright, Precious Achiuwa. And then you see Mitchell Robinson. He's got that 1 year left. He's making $12 million. Do the Knicks sell him off when his value is high? There's a world, and I don't love this world, but there is a world that what the New York Knicks evidently decide to do is trade Mitchell Robinson while his value's high and also decide, all right, well, we could sign a center for less money and maybe the impact won't be as much there, but we believe that Huck Porty can really get things going for us, that he could be a viable center option and not exactly replace Mitchell Robinson's production fully, but replace the level of production that Mitchell Robinson put up to where you can still have the same amount of wins and success. And maybe you can't because Huck Porty will be in his second year, and that wouldn't be the most shocking thing. So it becomes difficult to figure out. That's why also Steven Adams becomes an interesting free agency fit. Because if you do trade Mitchell Robinson, Steven Adams is a lot alike, just not as good because he's a lot older, has the injury history. But at the same time, it is a move that makes a lot of sense for the Knicks. If they want to save a few dollars, you can trade Mitchell Robinson, sign Steven Adams, who's going to make less money. You have to pull him away from the Rockets, though, which is not going to be the easiest task in the world, but they should be able to get that done. Now, on top of that, we look at Popper, who revealed that Precious Achiuwa seemed to be the most likely to be gone among players who were contributors this season. Not signing back with the Knicks last summer until all other options were exhausted, but there was a dissatisfaction with playing time under Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff having equal dissatisfaction about the defense and consistency provided by Precious Achiuwa. And honestly, that makes sense. You look at Achiuwa, and he's kind of this tweener who doesn't really have an exact position at power forward. It destroys your spacing at center. You give up some size. Achiuwa's came in and done some nice things for the Knicks in the past. He's been a solid defender. He's put up some good numbers at points. But at the same time, he's making $6 million. This feels like a great chance to free up some money. And I do believe the New York Knicks will free up some money by letting Precious Achiuwa walk because they re-signed him last year with the idea that they could trade him if they needed to. They ended up not trading him. But at the same time, what we're looking at is a guy in Achiuwa who clearly is not going to come back to the Knicks. He's going to go somewhere where he can get actual minutes, and that is not going to be here. The Knicks are going to look in a different direction for sure than Achiuwa, and honestly, I'm fine with that. Like, I like Precious, but it's not a hill that I'm really ready for the New York Knicks to die on right now. You look at Achiuwa's numbers on the season. He put up 6.5 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 1 assist per game. Got nearly a block and a steal per game as well. Shot 50% from the field and 28% from 3. The man was 6'8", being an undersized, honestly, center did make things a little bit difficult. At times, things worked. At other times, they didn't work, and it just became the situation of, all right, well, it might be time to move on from Achiuwa, and I would be fine with that. On top of that, what Popper also mentions is that DeLon Wright seemed, or was, a defensive option who seemed like a perfect fit for Tom Thibodeau when he got his chances, but the 16.7 shooting in the playoffs from three-point range was a problem. He shot 60% in the playoffs in limited action for Miami in the 23-24 season. Among the veterans who were part of the rotation, Shamet probably has the best chance to come back. Now, Landry Shamet put up 5.7 points, 1.2 rebounds per game, shot 46% from the field and 40% from 3 on the season. He shot 47% on corner threes. I love Landry Shamet. I fully want to see Landry Shamet come back. That's not Landry Shamet, and neither is that. But I didn't mean to click that button very clearly. But in all seriousness, Landry Shamet is someone who I mean, he's just the perfect fit for this team. He's everything that you would want in a discount Dante DiVincenzo. He's an excellent shooter. He's a fiery guy. He gave the Knicks a lot of momentum in the playoffs. I do want to see Landry Shamet back with the Knicks. I do fully believe he's going to be back with the Knicks in part of their rotation, and I'm happy about that. I think Shamet's an awesome fit, and I think especially next to a guy like Tyler Kolek, who is going to be getting minutes next season, Shamet's going to be a good veteran to have around him. Landry Shamet knows what it's like to be a second-round rookie, getting some playing time, and on top of that, Shamet gives Tyler Kolek a really consistent three-point shooter to go to and just a veteran scorer. I think that's a good fit with Tyler Kolek in that backcourt when you're looking at the Knicks bench unit. Kolek, I do expect to get minutes next year and also be in the Knicks rotation, but we saw Landry Shamet, we'll get back to Kolek in a second, we saw Landry Shamet put up 6 points and 2 assists in the final 4 games when he really got minutes in the playoffs in those final 4 games of the conference finals. And Shamet played well. I mean, he shot 54% from 3. He played good defense. He did exactly what you want from Landry Shamet. And I do fully believe that he's earned himself another contract with the New York Knicks. He was playing for his career out there, and he absolutely got it done. You look at Cameron Payne, he did not get it done. Put up 2 points throughout the entire playoffs. His true shooting was a 39%, shooting 32% from the field and 23% from 3. I do think you let Cameron Payne go. He was solid throughout the season, and if Tyler Kolek wasn't waiting in the wings, this would be a different conversation. But Kolek is waiting. You do go with Kolek here. And also, on a side note, I do believe Marjan Beauchamp, a guy who's put up 4 points and 2 rebounds for his career, shooting around 35% from 3. I do believe that the Knicks will sign him because he'll be a cheap signing as well. So we'll see that go down. So we'll see a few of the Knicks bench pieces. But the thing is, we're going to have to see them sign someone better as well off the bench. And we do have a video coming out, so make sure to check that one out. It should be coming out today as well. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.